Hey, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera show. You know, we're all pretty in pink tonight, and that's because Mother's Day is next weekend. I hope you're planning to have your mom or your grandmother, your sister, or maybe the entire family over for a Mother's Day celebration. And we've obviously got the kitchen looking perfect tonight. 3 monkeys even matched me up with a towel that matched my outfit. So I'm real excited. I'm also going to be introducing you to 3 generations of our VeryVera family. I've got a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter that are all part of our group. I'm going to introduce you to each one. We're going to learn how to address a formal invitation. We're going to fold some beautiful napkins. And the best part of all is we're going to ice a strawberry lemonade cake, the perfect dessert for Mother's Day. So come on, we're going to do flowers from food to decorating. We're going to have a lot of fun. So glad you decided to join me in my kitchen tonight because I have a very special treat for Mother's Day. You know, this picture of my mother and my grandmother that I came across when I got the business started certainly shows a vintage look at a mother and a daughter in the kitchen together. And as I looked at that, I thought, you know, if they were still with me now, that would be 3 generations, and that kind of came to mind. 3 generations, I've got 3 generations right there at VeryVera. So at this time, I would love to introduce you to Rebecca Jefferson. And Miss Rebecca, as we all affectionately refer her to, is our master icer at VeryVera. So I know your mouths are watering immediately because we are going to put together a strawberry lemonade cake. It is our May cake of the month, and it is so scrumptious. Miss Rebecca, are you ready to show this audience how you do your thing at VeryVera?
Yes, I am.
Well, good. Well, let's get started now.
I'm going to put a little icing here to hold the cake in place.
Okay. And you can eat that at the end, right?
Right. And then I'm going to put a strawberry icing layer down.
All right.
And I'm going to put 3/4 of a cup of icing between the layers.
Okay, now you're saying 3/4 a cup. And you know, we came up with this at VeryVera because when you slice the cake, we love for there to be just the right amount of icing in between each layer. And you know how to do it so well, you don't even have to measure it anymore.
No, I can look at it.
She can look at it
and this is a lemon layer.
All right, now what about the fact that they are already trimmed? Tell us about that.
We trim them because they have to be a certain height. So we trim them ahead of time so we won't have to trim them when we ice them. So I got a lemon layer and some more strawberry icing.
Okay, now let me ask you this. On when you do this, the layers have been chilled so that you're not getting all the crumbs coming off in your icing.
Right.
And the icing is not, and this is a what, cream cheese icing?
Cream cheese icing with strawberry flavor.
Oh, I mean, if you guys could smell this, it is completely unbelievable.
Cream cheese with strawberry flavoring in it.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, let's take a break on that for just a minute because I want to ask you, since this is the Mother's Day show, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, was there anything particular that you learned from your mom?
I learned a lot from my mom. She taught me everything I know mostly.
Everything about just housekeeping
and flowers and gardening
and everything. And then before we started, it was, I asked about your grandmother and you said it was actually your
great-grandmother. I was lucky enough to have a great-grandmother in my life.
You know.
And she taught me a lot.
Isn't that wonderful? So, you know, as we think through this Mother's Day weekend that's coming up next weekend, you know, the influences that our mothers, our grandmothers, and even for you, your great-grandmother had in your life are so important. So Miss Rebecca is going to keep working on this cake. We're going to take you through it, the whole process. But come back with us during the break, after the break, because we've got another very special guest that I'm going to introduce you to. And we're going to do some napkin folding and dip strawberries in chocolate. So Miss Rebecca has been busy at work during the break, and you can see that this cake is really coming together. She's put all the crumb layer on and has done such a fantastic job getting that done. But while she finishes that, and Miss Rebecca, don't mess up now, because you know this is going to be a very special cake today just for you. We're going to come get started on another aspect of entertaining, and I would love to introduce you to LaWanda Daniel. LaWanda Daniels is part of the VeryVera organization as well, and she just happens to be Miss Rebecca's daughter. Hey, LaWanda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so glad to have you, and you know, Miss Rebecca has been with us for about 10 years, and into that process, you decided you wanted to be part of VeryVera.
Yes, ma'am.
So how did that come about?
I saw how your operation was and I really liked it. So I learned a lot over the years from you guys about table manners, how to set tables, food preparations, and many other things.
Well, she's being very modest because this year, at the 8-year part, she took over the complete running of one of our largest accounts during the Masters Golf Tournament, and I had compliments galore from the coordinator of that account. So she's done a great job. So, you know, these dinners that you worked on over Masters Week, one of the things that we do is beautiful napkin folding. Right. And I know we always like to get creative, but I thought it would be fun today to show a couple of them that we like to do a lot, so that the table looks really pretty. So if you're in the audience and you're thinking about doing a Mother's Day breakfast or dinner, we want you to try one of these. So the first thing we're going to do is you've got your napkin folded in half with the fold at the top. Then you're going to fold it again, and you've got the 4 loose corners there. And we're going to just take one corner at a time and bring it up so that you've got about a 1/2 inch. It's perfect on each one. And then at that point, you're going to flip it up, and you'll have a little opening there where you can tuck in. You can tuck it in. And basically, it looks almost like a chef's hat. I love to do these. And then that can just stand up, you know, in front of the plate, or, you know, to the side, to the left where your fork is. So that's one that's a lot of fun. And then another one that I love to do, you're going to take that same napkin and you're going to fold it into a diamond. And then you're going to bring this down so that you've got a fold, and then you're going to flip it over and bring that fold back out. You're going to do the same tuck, and then at this point you kind of open up. It almost looks like a collar, so that can sit in the middle of the plate or on the side. So I hope you'll try those. But we need to get some strawberries done, LaWanda, because we're going to garnish. You know, you did that Masters Week, I think, right, too. So I'm going to get you to dip, and then I am going to brush with a little bit of white chocolate. All right?
I'm going to dip the strawberries halfway in the chocolate. I'm going to pull them up like that.
Oh, perfect.
And place them on wax paper.
And then those will go in the refrigerator after that, correct?
Yes.
All right, then I've melted the white chocolate and just put it into a regular Ziploc bag, and this becomes your piping bag, so you don't have to go out and buy anything special. And I'm just going to do the little technique on the top. Is going to be a really special twist to the way we slice this strawberry layer cake. And you know, actually this could be another great idea, right, for like a friend or maybe a girlfriend who you're really close to her mom, you want to do something special. Maybe dip a dozen strawberries and put them in a little box and take that as a special gift. So this is very easy to do. I picked up the white chocolate and the dark chocolate at Fresh Market, and they had the most beautiful strawberries, LaWanda. You have got to go look at these. You know, this is the month for strawberries. So we will keep dipping the strawberries and decorating. Love the napkins. And when we come back, I've got another very special guest. You know her too. to join us. So come back after the break. We're going to do some invitations and we're going to package a beautiful cake. Fun. Welcome back, and as you can see, Miss Rebecca is hard at work on this layer cake. It's our signature swirl that she has got down to a science. It's just amazing how easily her hand just works on every aspect of making this cake perfect. And you know, it looks exactly like that when it comes through the mail. So it's just completely incredible. I'm gonna let her continue to work on this, but this is the strawberry lemonade layer cake, if you're just joining us, which would be the perfect gift for Mother's Day. So welcome back. I'm glad you decided to stick in and join us today because we've had a wonderful time getting to know this lovely family. Miss Rebecca has been with VeryVera now for quite about 10 years, having retired from Kimberly-Clark and decided to come back and put her expertise to work for us. Her daughter LaWanda is an administrative part of the Scana company here in Augusta. She has many, many responsibilities in her regular job, but finds time on the weekends to help us. And at this time, I would love to introduce you to the third generation of this family. This is Alea Daniels. And Alea, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
And we're so happy to have you. Alea is a senior at Davidson, graduating this month in May.
Yes,
and you've got some special news for us, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that?
Well, in the fall, I'll be attending Kent State University in Kent, Ohio.
This is so wonderful. I know your grandmother said she was happy and sad at the same time because you were going to be going a little bit of ways.
Yes,
but you know, people ask us all the time, Alea, how in the world does that cake travel and get there in one piece? And my first answer is always, well, you need to make sure that Alea Daniels packaged your cake because that's what she does with us during the holidays. But honestly, I thought it would be great for you to show the process.
Okay. Okay, so first what you're going to do, you're going to take the cake out the container.
Okay, we got it airtight in this dome for sure.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, then you're going to take the cake off the bottom of the dome. Slides off really easy.
Okay.
And you're going to sit the cake on top of the ribbon. The ribbon is used to holster it down into the box.
Okay, now let me tell you, I got to brag about this ribbon. This is our invention on how to keep it in one piece. So that goes like that.
And then next you're going to take what we call a cake collar and put it around the cake. And what this does, it prevents the cake from sliding against the box and getting messed up.
And that's also our invention. We actually used to use bubble wrap. Were you
Yes, I
working
remember
there
that.
when we did that?
Yes, ma'am.
And we got very sophisticated with our current collar technique. But this protects the cake in transit. And this cake is frozen, so that's the other part of this.
And then next we're going to lift the cake into the box carefully.
Carefully. Emphasis on the carefully.
Carefully. And then
Okay.
And then after that, you put what type of cake it is, which is a strawberry lemonade. Put that on top of the cake.
And you know how I am about, this is the school teacher coming out of me, Alea, how everything is lined up so that when the customer receives it and they open it up, the first thing they see is the name of the cake.
Yes, ma'am.
So, packaged with love by Alea Dana. We should have that as a little card in there. But that's how they travel and just arrives in perfect condition. But you know, it's so interesting. I thought, well, what else could I do with Alea? Alea, when did you first come into the VeryVera organization?
Well, the first time I came to VeryVera was for the cooking camp, which was during the summer. It's a week program, and during the week we go and just learned different techniques about cooking, folding napkins, and we also learned how to sew a button one year. And then at the end of the year, we put on a catering event for our parents. And then I went to that for maybe, I think, 3 years. And then after that, I started helping during Christmas time in the packaging department.
Oh,
and then after
and she
that,
does a wonderful job. But you know, you're getting ready to be addressing invitations to graduation.
Yes,
so I thought I would give you a tip about that. And this is actually, proceeding and helping you get ready for hopefully many other invitations that you'll do along the way. This one in particular is one that hopefully you might be addressing one day when she walks down the aisle. But you want to take this opportunity to find out the person's whole name. It might take a little bit of time, but you want to find out the person's name. So come back with us after the break. I'm going to show you how to get that name on the envelope just right and how to do the inside envelope. And then we're going to have a tea party to celebrate Mother's Day with your mom and your grandmother. Come back and join us after the break. Moms, don't forget to teach your sons. You know, as a mother, I think we all think about the things that we want our daughters to learn, but don't forget great etiquette tips for your sons. One of my favorite is to teach them to always pull the chair out if a lady is going to be seated at the table. Another one is the car door. When you've got a woman that's going to be seated in the car, whether it's you, your mother, or maybe just a girlfriend, they should always open the car door. Another one that's very important is if you're in a situation, maybe at a restaurant, where a woman comes over to the table to say hello to the family, make sure those sons are learning to stand up when that lady comes over to the table. And then finally, my favorite, the thank you note. There's nothing more appropriate than a young man to write a thank you note, thanking for a special gift, maybe for a weekend outing. So remember, those tips are just as important for a young man as they are a young lady. Okay, before we went to break, I was talking about the outside envelope and how it needs to be the full name, and you need to take this opportunity to get the full name of anyone that you're sending an invitation to. And then on the inside envelope, you just want to write Mr. and Mrs. and the last name. So outside envelope, the complete and full name and address, and then the inside envelope gets just Mr. and Mrs. So you'll be all ready to go. So I want to come join the party. And look how beautiful everything is. Ladies, let's just celebrate now. We've got Mother's Day next weekend, lots to celebrate. We're going to have ice cream and cake. So LaWanda, if you'll finish putting the ice cream, and these were actually my grandmother's beautiful sherbet glasses. We're going to garnish. What are you going to use for garnish on the glass? Lemon. All right. And then Alea, I'm going to have you garnish, but I want to talk about how to slice the perfect cake. So whenever I'm doing this, I like to look at the cake in fourths. So I'm going to cut down to the fourth line, all right? And then you just want to score. So I'm going to score down because I should be able to get 20 slices out of this cake. Let's just hope this comes out right. Isn't that beautiful? Such a pretty slice. And I'm going to try to get a few more cut, but in the meantime, I would like to know what it is you like about the VeryVera show. So if you will email us at Vera at NBC26.tv. That's Vera at NBC26.tv. Tell us what it is that you love about the VeryVera show, and you will be entered to win one of these cakes that you can serve for Mother's Day coming up. So please do that. And what we want to do now is celebrate with Miss Rebecca, who's the mother and the grandmother to these two young ladies. And we want to say to everybody that we hope that you will have a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day celebration with your family. I hope that you're going to be joined with people that you love. You know, it's been really a wonderful opportunity, Miss Rebecca, for you to come into our organization, for you to decide to come out of retirement long enough to come in and be part of VeryVera, and LaWanda, for you to choose to spend your weekends with us doing special events, and then learning, as you said, you've learned so much and have enjoyed the experience. And then for Alea to be accepted to Kent State University, and she's headed out of town, Miss Rebecca. You're gonna have to understand. But as we enjoy our little Mother's Day celebration, I want to remind everyone, no matter what you do it in good taste, and we're fixing to have some good taste. Happy Mother's Day, everybody, and thanks for watching the VeryVera Show. Ooh, this looks great.